So welcome to all of you, and let's start our today's session with the questions what we have on the list, and the situation will remain same. You have to answer on the chat window, and I'll explain it accordingly. Let me read the question and give you the hint how to read it. An experienced software developer is asked to lead a project from a customized software application for a client they worked with previously. 2 months into the project, clients want to know how change is being managed and want to see the project management plan. The team lead tells the client that this is an agile project. Therefore, there is no project management plan. The client escalates this issue to the sponsor. So in agile, we don't have project management plan normally, right? So how should the sponsor respond to the client? Tell the client that the team lead is in charge and is able to manage the project however they wish. Is it possible in any of the condition? This can be the right answer.
No.
It can never be, right? We don't run the project
No.
on wishes. Tell the client that it is not in the contract. Does it written in the question?
No.
It doesn't say anything in the question.
Yes.
And then if you look at D, ask the client what components of the project management plan are being requested. Or tell the client they will address the value and need for the project management plan with the team lead and ensure they will have one to review and approve by a specific date. What do you think? Whatever you will do, there will always be a project management plan, but the description of it will be based upon the requirement. In predictive one, we prepare the detailed one where we have a lot of management plans. But in agile, we keep the documentation as required. So now they are asking for it. So client will request the customer to the sponsor that asks them to provide it. And when the customer is asking something, then you have to provide it. You cannot say no, but you have to keep it as minimum as possible in agile, because agile says we don't need comprehensive documentation, but the documentation which we need it exactly. So the purpose of client is what? That you can have a proper governance. So you can actually control and manage the changes in a better way, in a better fashion. So in our situation, as of now, C is the better answer than among all. If you guys are confused that we have not discussed these type of things before, again, you have to use your artificial intelligence, that what should be the correct answer. I was just reading, and not just reading, I'm reading since long time. Since the chat GPT you might have seen is very popular nowadays, and there are many people how to pass the exam with chat GPT and so on. Chat GPT can only reply you that if answer is available on the database. While as a human, we need to use the approach. Do not become the robot while answering the questions. You have to use the logic while answering the questions. So we will have our clear logic that this can never be the right answer. And between the ties, the chat GPT will never be able, or any robots will never be able to find out which one is correct answer, because it will try to match with the definition, not with the logic, until it is trained in terms of logic. So in our current situation, C is the correct answer. Let's go and solve next question. A company is merging two similar projects. Extensive business process from each project needs to be merged. The team wants to optimize the merged business processes, and they hire a consultant to finish this task. How can the team ensure knowledge continuity from both projects? Instruct the consultant to optimize the processes. Create an archive from the project so the team members can read it on their own. Instruct team to create new templates for processes and begin using and improving them iteratively. Gather representative from both teams to explore and define a mutually agreeable way of working. Gopal, yes. Nasosa, yes. Very good. That is actually the correct answer. I don't know what about others. We hire the consultant, not that he should do the things by himself. If he will do the things by himself or herself, it will never be a good approach. You can never let the team to think. Team or any stakeholder will never do any action by their own. This is like reactive approach. And as a project manager, we have to do the or show the proactiveness. So B is not showing any proactiveness. Instruct the team. If the team will create that template, who will do the PMO task? Right? So it's not possible. So better is let the team decide their own way of working and then tailor accordingly. So yes, majority of you have answered D, which is actually the correct choice. Gather the rep from both teams to explore and define a mutually agreeable way of working. Because if one person will do it, it will become what? Force type of situation. Dictators, autocratic type of situation. So we don't want to do this. We want to make it which is good for both. So yes, agreeable solutions from both sides is always a better approach. Next question. A medical charity organization operates in disaster emergency zone. At headquarters, the leadership wants to ensure that their practitioners' professional licenses are compliant with governing bodies in the practitioner's home and in their working locations. So you need to have a license which works on the both locations. This is the condition or acceptance criteria set by the board. In order to facilitate the new measures, which 3 actions should be taken? So you need to select 3 answers and there are 5. Find 3 correct or 2 wrong. Can some of you answer me that compliance risk are low risk or high risk? What I have taught you, compliance risk are high or low? Who can answer it?
Which is high, sir.
Compliance is always the high or very high risk. We never keep compliance on low priority. So E is out of the league. Now I have to find another answer which is wrong. And if you look
Yes.
B,
Internal standard.
yes, internal standard. We are saying we need a standard which will work internally as well as globally, right? In that country also. If you will use internal standard, it will never be on the global side. So B is wrong. Yes, my sister, very correct. A, C, and D are the correct answers. Very nice. One word will give you the victory if you just read it carefully. Keep the question in compliance. In exam, you will have the privilege. In exam, you will have the privilege to highlights. And as I said that in all my certifications, I use this trick. That where you see that this is the flow, highlighted. So when you are reading the course answers, you can actually match the answer with the highlighted words. It will help you a lot. So you don't need to read it again. You don't need to do it iterative work. Just keep everything highlighted and then search it in the answer and you will easily find it. So try to use highlighters in the exam. Let's go next. Let me use highlighter so you guys can also aware. A product owner receive some confidential security information that needs to be included in the definition of done or acceptance criteria. How should the project manager categorize this requirement? So situation is what? Categorize. Top level influence, omission from earlier in the process, compliance matter, or change of heart. There is only one right answer which is easily accessible. Yes, Mr. Gobal. Very good. Yes, Mr. Zubair. Very good. What about others? No, Mr. Asghar. The reason is what? Categorize. How should the project leader categorize this requirement? This is what? Confidential security information. And it needs to be included in the definition of done as acceptance criteria. Change of heart will never be the correct answer. Top level management influence have nothing to do with the question. Remainings are B and C. They are saying include it. And this word is what? Against the include. So it cannot be the right answer. So remaining answer is C, compliance matter. And that's how we solve the questions. If your answers are incorrect or you were unable to answer, no worries. We are learning, but try to participate it so you will learn more. Great. During a sprint review, team identified successful gains on planned improvement, while noting that a lot more development and testing is required. Product owner wants to report on the business value of the work. Which action should the team take to assess the product owner with validating business value? Conduct a variance analysis, examine customer feedback, plan to discuss it at the next retrospects, measured earned value management. The purpose is what? Validating. Yes, Mr. Gopal, that is correct. The purpose is validating. Remember this word validating while you are thinking about the answer. Naveed, this is the analysis. They are asking validation of it. That's also the same for you. They are thinking for the validation. There is no variance in the question, so variance will never be the answer. This is gone. And what we discussed that next, we have to discuss it now. So it cannot be the answer. When you will see the next, it cannot be the easy answer. Now remaining are B and D. Get who validate the acceptance? From whom we take the acceptance? From the
Customer.
customer, right? And from where we take the verification? Who gives the verification? First we verify, right? Then we go to validate it. Validation is the customer. Verification is by
Product owner.
product owner or quality consultants, right? Quality control. So yes, B was the correct answer. Very good. Let's go next. A team was assigned as a project to build something. After 6 months, a sponsor expresses concerns. A colleague in an unrelated company division claims the policy administration system has bugs and the team is unable to solve critical problems. Which two options project manager used to prepare a response to the sponsor? Choose to defect count, risk metric, issue log, changes, technical debts. What do you think, Mr. Asghar? No, both are wrong. Gopal, yes, both are correct. Does the question ask anything about changes? Do you see any word of changes in the question?
No.
So it's gone, right? What is technical debts? That you have a lot of errors and you are keeping the inventory of it. Are you keeping the inventory of errors in the question somewhere?
No.
Say something about the technical debts. So it cannot be the answer. Is there any risk you found out? Did you see any risk here?
Yes.
Where is the risk?
The policy has huge bugs. Administration has bugs
Has
on
mean
the team.
it's definite. Risk, whenever you will read risk, it will be like this: may or might
Okay.
or could. If you see these words, then it will be a risk. So there is nothing like this in the question, right?
Yes.
So risk answer is gone. So remaining are two answers only, which is A and C, and they are the correct answer. So we have eliminated all the wrong choices. Ultimately, we left over with the correct choices. Okay.
Okay.
So the only thing is what? Elimination. Next, a project team lead has challenged the team to minimize defects and waste. As an initial step, team proposes to assess the relevant standards and frameworks. How can the team do this? Review the requirements management plan, checking the ISO website, or investigating the project quality matrix, or interview the person who manages quality compliance. What do you think is the correct answer? To assess the relevant standards and framework, to minimize the defect and waste in the project teamwork. Can I ask you one thing? Investigate is proactive or reactive? When it is quality standard, so it has nothing to do with requirements management plan, because requirement management plan is what? How the requirements will be collected. Checking the ISO website. When you will go to ISO website, there are hundreds of standards. Can you follow 100 of standards? Not possible. Interview the person who manages the compliance. The person who manages the compliance, what he can do on the project defects. So we have two answers, C and D remaining. Some have already answered. What is the correct answer then? Answer on the chat window, please. Zubair, yes, your answer was correct. Yes, sir, yes, correct. Yes, Mr. Sakti, correct. Check the matrix that how much defects you have it and waste based upon the quality matrix which you have set. Then find out, because there is a process called plan quality management, right? And then output is what? Quality management plan and quality matrix. And matrix is what we set. Matrix is what? The measurement, units of measurement. Based upon those measurements, you will actually adapt the standards. That what is the measurement of matrix you have it for the defects and waste. So once you will find out the matrix of waste and defects, then you can actually find the correct standard required for you. Like there is lean, because waste is what? Related to lean, right? Waste is related to lean, and defect is also related to lean management. And we have lean management standards. We have Six Sigma standards. You can follow or pursue any one of them. So quality matrix are what? Describe the projects or product attributes. But the requirements management plan is separate. ISO is totally separate. There are thousands of things. Great. Let's go next. A team is set to deliver a project in 12 months. The sponsor encourages innovation. and the project has a high risk tolerance. Stakeholder appetite is what? They have high risk tolerance. However, when it passed to 8 months, it is plagued with incomplete and failing prototypes. Team is demoralized. Project manager worries whether the deliverable will ever meet the stated acceptance criteria. How the adaptive life cycle have helped this project? And I think it's one of the correct answer. You can easily see. Option D says agile does not require acceptance criteria. Is it correct statement? No,
No.
right? This we must do it.
No.
Even when we collect the user stories, it must have the acceptance criteria. Making the sponsor product owner. Is it a right approach? The sponsor is external, right? And product owner is internal. So that cannot be the right answer. Remaining are B and C. Yes, Ms. Usta, C is correct. No, Gopal. Yes, Mr. Sakti, very good. Yes, Gopal, very good. Yes, Zubair and Naveed. Agile practices are good for high risk projects, and especially when it comes to innovation. Why? Because we collect the user stories and we make the wireframe, right? Wireframe could be low fidelity, high fidelity, or it could be a prototype. And the purpose of it, so we can remove the gulf of evaluation, which means there is a gulf between you and me while understanding the requirement. To remove that, we use what? Wireframing or storyboarding to understand it. So yes, C is the correct answer. Let's go next. A new assembled project team is holding a kickoff meeting. About half of the team already works together. Other team members are contractors. Company already uses lean and agile approaches. However, during the meeting, team members openly argued about everything. Which action will help the team to build shared understanding? Create breakout sessions and assign team members to specific work based on their expertise. Nominate someone to the role of project manager and adopt a hierarchical team structure. Ask the product owner to lead the session and explain to the team what to do. The team lead should arrange the team and contractors in working pairs. Shared understanding is what? What we call it, shared understanding in Agile. In Predictive, it is called as project charter. In Agile, it is called as what? What is the name of project charter in Agile? Who remembers? We called it vision statement. And who create vision statement in Agile? Project manager or product owner?
Product owner.
Vision statement is done by the product owner. So if you know this, then you should know the answer also. And if it is predictive one, then it will be project manager. So what is the correct answer then? How come, Naveed? I just explained. Yes, Mr. Sakti. Yes, Naveed. Yes, Mrs. Yes, Gopal. Very good. So, vision statement is the task of product owner. Let him do it. Why you have to do it by yourself? It's not the project manager task. Very good. Let's go next. A government is ready to announce a new tax. It's not your problem, okay? Don't waste your time. The team is working on the first set of goals to secure buy-in from the industry stakeholders and launch a strong public campaign to support the mandate. In which three ways can the project build a shared understanding of the project goals with public stakeholders? Create partnership between the government and industry stakeholders so that the industry is prepared to support the change. Launch a national survey program to anticipate how individuals and business will react. Announce the tax along with an advertising campaign to educate the country and individuals about the benefit. Inform industry stakeholders that not compliant businesses will be penalized. Will this be a good answer anytime? Penalized? Can this be a good answer at any time? This word?
No, no,
So this is out of the league, right? We remove one. Use an incremental approach by taxing products with the highest sugar content only and explain how this will improve health results over a period of time. And we have a golden word, right? Does it? Will it be a correct answer or no?
no.
Yes, it will be the correct answer, but because you are not reading what they are saying. Only is a hint, but you have to read the whole question again. But let's first find out another wrong answer. The buy-in you have to take from industry stakeholders, right? And a strong public campaign to support the mandate. You need to build a shared understanding. So I can see Mr. Asghar have answered. Asghar, one answer is not correct, which is the middle one. And Mohsin, same goes for you. The middle one is not correct. Middle one is not correct, Mr. Sakti. When you need to tell someone, you will collect the data or you will tell someone. You have to tell them, right? Collecting will not help. They are asking you to convince, not what they are thinking. They are asking you to convince, right? Convince, shared understanding. They are not asking you that what they think about it. So yes, A, C, and E are the correct answer. That use an incremental approach by taxing products with the highest sugar content only and explain how this will help, because this is the biggest problem. Highest sugar content only is creating the problem in the health. And once you will do the thing with incremental, so after increment there will be a result. So you can show this result to the people that look, we have done this action, and because of this action, what impact it has brought. So you will get more customer feedback that, okay, yes, it is in our benefit. So it's all logical questions you have to understand carefully. During an agile project, the key stakeholders are expressing concerns about their lack of involvement. They feel disconnected from the project. Product owner agrees with these concerns and wishes to do something quickly. The iteration is coming to an end. What would be a good way to engage the key stakeholder at this stage? Key stakeholders. Daily stand-up for the key stakeholder or team? For whom daily stand-up is? Team, right? Correct, Navid. So it cannot be the answer. Arrange a meeting with the key stakeholders to discuss the iteration backlog. Can you do it during the iteration? Can you do a meeting with the key stakeholders during the iteration? Never, right? It only happened at the time of review meeting, not now. So B is gone. Invite the key stakeholders to join the next planning meeting and retrospect meeting. or invite the key stakeholder to participate in the iteration review. Which one is the correct answer? Yes, Mr. Mohsen, good. Yes, Mr. Hafiz. No, Mr. Sakti, Mr. Zubair, Mr. Asghar, Ms. Hussa, correct. Why to do the next iteration? Problem is in now, right? To engage at this stage. At this stage means next will never be the right answer. So D is the correct answer. They are asking now and you are saying next. Not possible. You will disengage them more until next. Next, a product team has completed 8 of 10 planned iterations for a project. While refining the backlog for iteration 9, product owner learns about a massive change and send this email. Dear team, budget change announced yesterday will impact our project. I may need to reprioritize some of our planned work. How should the team lead respond? Reply with some recommendations to reduce the scope. Is it possible? You can reduce the scope?
No, never.
Contact the finance department to find out more about the budget cut. It has some finance department has something to do. It's organization decision. Disband the team so they have time to find new assignments. Is it possible? You can terminate the sprint like this by yourself? Never. So yes, all of you who have answered B are correct. Wait for the product owner to reprioritize the product backlog. So we will only do the work which is on the top. Whenever we have a massive thing, yes, we can change the requirement in the middle of the iteration, but we cannot terminate the sprint just because of this. Once he will reprioritize it, we will change the strategy. Otherwise, if there is a big change, product owner can terminate the iteration only. Next, an agile team welcomes a new team member who is unfamiliar with the agile approach. At the weekly demo meeting, this team member becomes visibly nervous. When an operation engineer who often criticized their previous work appears unexpectedly and gives very direct feedback about the prototype. After the meeting, the new team member leaves the room quickly. How should the team respond? And we have to select 2 answers, okay? The product owner should approach the team member later in the day to find out the history of the problem. Team member is the problem of product owner or project manager?
Project manager.
Right, the team lead. So A cannot be the answer. I didn't read it over. You don't need to read it. Allow the team member to figure out their own relationship since this is a self-organizing team. Hold a team meeting to find out from other team members what they know about this situation. The team lead should reiterate the ground rules at the next retrospect, especially the engagement protocols and communication standards, or facilitate a face-to-face meeting between the team member and the operation engineer. If someone is not comfortable, you will do this. Will you ever do this if you are in confrontation with someone?
No.
Right? We avoid it. When we have this situation, we try to avoid it. The avoid strategy. So this is gone. Ms. Hussa, yes, one answer was correct. Even the other answer was correct. The last one is not correct. And the discussion is about 2 people. So you will never make this public, right? Why you want to make it public? What you know about the situation. You are not going to inspect a police case. So C is gone. So yes, Ms. Hussa, B and D were the correct answer, and also Mr. Sakti. Okay, a product owner is reviewing notes from the latest stakeholder meetings. Which two note items should the product owner consider as changes to the product backlog? Choose two. Which two note items? What do you put in the product backlog? Do we put bugs in the product backlog? Do we put bugs on the product backlog? And if you don't put the bugs on the product backlog, where we put them then? Who will tell me? When we don't put bugs on the product backlog, where we put it? Mr. Sakti, your answer is correct. Naveed and Hafiz, no. Not possible. Zubair, no. Can someone put change in the current iteration? Is it possible? Have we discussed this? Maybe it could be correct till here. But what about this? We cannot bring a change in the current iteration like this. That someone is recommending something, you will say, please stop, we'll do it in the next one. We cannot do here. So A cannot be the answer. And we put product backlog, the technical depths at Kanban board, right? Or the task board. So E cannot be the answer. Remaining B, C, and D. Do we put issues on the product backlog? No. Issues are also going to the issue board or issue log, not in the product backlog. Product backlog contains the work and only the work which needs to be done. So B and C, those who have answered, are the correct answers. Always read the question from start to end. Don't be in rush. And as I said, use highlighters and so on. Let's do the last question and then let me give you some tips also. A critical project to improve a customer service process has failed. Even though all the end users were trained, they rejected the change and continued using their original process. Which actions should the team take? Escalate the lack of cooperation. Is it a good approach? Escalate? Never, right? Take note of the risk associated with the new implementation, which means you are saying next. And next in our situation is not a correct statement. Which answer is correct now? I will not read C and D. You read it and you answer it. Yes, Hafiz. If someone is not doing anything, we need to understand their problems. Yes, what is your problem, boss? Why you are in such a rush? So you can understand what's going through with that. Great. I think let's keep it here. And let me give you the exam tips and techniques again, so you guys can understand them well and follow the instructions accordingly.